Alright, hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Now, you guys have been loving the reaction video series where I find a whole bunch of horrible examples of aquariums and react to them, point out what's wrong, stuff like that. I made, I think, part 4 or 5 to this video a few weeks ago, and in that video I said if you guys wanted to see more to let me know down in the comments, and a lot of you said you guys liked that video, so I'm here today with part 5, part 6, part 7, whatever part it is. We're going to be doing another installment of reacting to the worst aquariums I can find.
Ooh, the ghetto! The ghetto.
And trust me, today is no different from any of the other videos. I have some pretty bad ones here, like, just wait for it. So we're starting off strong here on something very controversial, and that is betta bowls. No one likes a betta fish bowl. Betta fish should not be kept in bowls. We've been through this spiel 1,000 times. But this bowl right here is an exception, sort of. This isn't just a betta bowl. This is a betta fish bowl times like 20. There's literally probably 20 betta fish in here and a ton of cory cats down at the bottom if you can see them. It's a nice planted bowl. It would actually be a pretty cool shrimp tank. We see a little airline hose, so I'm assuming there's some sort of filtration or aeration going on in there. This could honestly be a pretty nice shrimp habitat. Looks about a gallon-ish, but for 20 betta fish, sororities, because most of these betta fish I'm assuming are female, a female sorority tank is controversial in its own, and that's in like a 20-gallon tank. They never really work out right, but 20 betta fish in a 1-gallon fish bowl is pretty crazy. Yeah, not sure what they were thinking here. This is not going to work long-term. This isn't even going to work short-term, probably. Everything about this is a mess. I have no idea what was going through these people's heads. These fish are going insane. Coming in clutch, we have the Facebook Marketplace listings. Now, you see this nasty, disgusting fish tank, and you'd think, oh, they're selling the fish, they're getting rid of their fish tank, because clearly they can't take care of it. But no, they say, insert free fish for fish tank. And then in the description it says, I'm looking for some free fish to put in my fish tank. All mine died. Take a look at the fish tank. Is she surprised why they all died? Half the water's evaporated. The tank is so cloudy and disgusting. Just a classic case of someone not knowing how to take care of their fish. All the fish died, but now they want more fish, and they won't even go to PetSmart and spend $20 to buy new fish. They want someone to give fish to them for free, knowing they just killed all their previous fish, but they're still looking for free fish, even though they killed all the other ones, but they want more. Well, maybe before you get more fish, get your tank act together, and then the next fish you buy won't die. Some people are just crazy. This next one right here is giving me very much Pinterest vibes, but I really like it. So it's this little aquaponics system, but on a small scale using mason jars. It looks super pretty, but unfortunately, there's betta fish in there, and these cute little aquaponics planters are way too small to house betta fish. No real filtration here and no heater. This is an unsuitable home for a betta fish, despite how cool it looks. It's really just not that good of an idea. This on a larger scale, maybe with like one 5-gallon betta fish tank with holes in the top, and then do like all the plants dipped in the same 5-gallon aquarium. You could have a beautiful betta fish tank and then some aquaponics above. That could be an idea, but individually separated in these tiny like half-gallon mason jars is a no-go. Now it looks like we moved on from Facebook Marketplace. We are now on Craigslist with a 210-gallon aquarium fish tank with, you guessed it, 300 goldfish. And they want, of course, $1,500 for this aquarium. So this aquarium on its own has potential. It's ugly, I'm going to be honest with you. It's not a pretty fish tank. But the fact that there's 300 goldfish in here, how does one even get a hold of 300 fancy goldfish? You go to like PetSmart and there's like 10. You go to like PETCO, there's another 10. You go to your local fish store, there's another 10. That's 30 fancy goldfish. How do you get 300? This tank is so overstocked. The water looks nasty, and of course now they're trying to rehome these fish. And the tank, of course. But these goldfish aren't even fully grown. They're all still pretty small, and they all are going to probably grow a lot more. Fancy goldfish get pretty big. Even a 210-gallon tank is big, but not quite big enough for 300 goldfish. And in my opinion, $1,500 is a little bit overpriced for this aquarium. I don't know how you even rehome 300 goldfish, because they can't live in this tank long term. And I don't know if there's really a market that big, at least in a local Craigslist area, for 300 fancy goldfish. It does look impressive, I will say that. The big school of goldfish is pretty, but there's not enough room for these goldfish. The water looks disgusting. I can't really even see any filtration. There's just some miscellaneous tubes going on there and some plants. So really, I don't know exactly what's going on. The stand on this tank is hideous, by the way. Like, who would buy that? That's really just ugly. But this is just another example of someone setting up an aquarium, putting all they have into it, I mean 300 goldfish, and then giving up on it only to try to sell it. Now, of course, we cannot forget about the turtle tank. This looks to be a 10-gallon turtle tank filled up with like 3 gallons of water, disgusting green water to say the least, with a massive red ear slider turtle. Now, this turtle looks like it needs about a 55-gallon tank minimum, probably upwards of 60, 75-ish gallons, ideally. A horrible basking dock, which looks to be just stacked up pieces of plastic. A tiny internal filter in the back, which is doing nothing because this water is so disgusting. There's no way you can keep a turtle in 3 gallons of water and expect the water to be clear. Especially when the turtle is this big. It's eating a lot of food, I imagine, and just polluting this tank like crazy. There is a heat lamp above the basking dock, no UVB lamp, so that turtle is bound to get metabolic bone disease, which happens when turtles aren't able to get that UVB light that they do need. Overall, this is better than some of the turtle setups I've seen, unfortunately, but for a turtle that is pretty large, this is just a overall bad tank. This tank needs to be, you know, 5 times the size it is now with adequate filtration. There's no water heater in here from what I can see, and turtles generally do need heaters in their aquariums so they stay warm enough to be eating year round, because in the wild, turtles kind of go dormant in the winter. Obviously in aquariums that's not the case, so you need a heater to kind of keep the temperature stable. And of course there isn't one of those in here either. Not much else to say about this disgusting turtle tank. Hopefully they get a new tank for their pet soon, but we'll see. Moving into some saltwater stuff. As if it couldn't get any worse than it was, we have a 3-gallon reef aquarium. I want to say reef aquarium, but I shouldn't, because all their corals are dead. It looks like they had corals, but now they're just skeletons, so all their corals died. They have 1 clownfish in here, which one clownfish probably needs around a 5 or 10-gallon tank, depending on the species. This looks to be a maroon clownfish, which does get a little bit bigger than your common clownfish, so probably around a 20 or 30-gallon aquarium is best suited for this guy. But if we look in the corner, the Tang police are coming because we have a blue Tang in a 3-gallon aquarium. Yes, a blue Tang. Blue Tangs need upwards of 150 to 180 gallon aquariums when they are full grown. Even when they're small, they still require big tanks. I have a like 2 or 3 inch blue Tang in my 120 gallon tank, and that fish uses every inch of this tank, constantly swimming around. This 3-gallon tank is way too small for the clownfish, let alone the blue Tang that's in here that can get like 12 inches long in this tiny tank. Sad excuse for a tank. The waterline doesn't look like they're paying attention to salinity too much with top-offs. Obviously, all the dead coral is not a good sign either, so unfortunately, this tank is a pure disappointment. At the top, it does say there is 2 blue tanks, but I'm only able to see 1. If there is a second one hiding behind the rock, that's just opening the door to more and more issues. This next tank is throwing me for a loop. This is a sweet water aquarium. I'm not sure what the background of that is. You can read the little passage if you want to. It doesn't make any sense to me. Basically, this is an example of someone who created a brackish water tank, which is like half freshwater, half saltwater, and then put fish that live in freshwater and fish that live in saltwater in the same tank. There's no reason this should be a thing. So if we zoom in, we see some blood parrot cichlids, 100% freshwater fish. They live in freshwater. They're man-made fish, actually. If you didn't know this, blood parrotfish are not found in the wild. They are a hybrid fish. So even if this aquarium is trying to replicate something that happened in the wild, blood parrots are not wild fish. They never existed in the wild and they never will. So, what? And then of course we see a yellow tang, a naso tang, and some various damsels. I think a rabbit fish, a Moorish idol, just your standard saltwater fish living alongside freshwater fish. While this might work temporarily, I don't know what salinity they're running in here. This is not going to work long term. These fish cannot live a healthy life in an aquarium like this. Either the saltwater fish are all going to die, the freshwater fish are all going to die. Once again, this is something that might work short term, as we can see, but probably won't last very long. You shouldn't keep fish in unideal conditions just to try to prove a point. Like, it's just, no. Last but not least, we're starting to see a trend here with betta fish. This is a vase with a betta fish, and if the vase with the betta fish in it wasn't bad enough, there's 2 floating tea light candles. I'm not sure what the point of putting candles on top of your betta fish water is. I don't get the reason there, but besides the random candles floating which could drip wax and something else into the tank, this vase is a flower vase. It is way too small to house a live fish. We've been over this 4,000 times. Betta fish need more than a bowl or a vase full of water. They are tropical fish. They do need a filter. They do need a heater. You guys probably know that by now. But that was the last picture I have for us today. If you guys do want me to continue with this series, let me know by smashing that like button. That tells me and the algorithm that you guys are liking this style of video and want me to make more of it. Also, if you have any questions or ideas for upcoming videos, let me know down below. I read all the comments and will try my best to answer any questions you guys have. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.